Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. We are back once again with my 370Z out here in the wind. And today we're going to talk about something that I've done recently to the car, which is the Z1 aluminum undershroud, which if you guys don't know what that is, basically underneath your car, underneath the engine and the oil pan, there is a cover that comes from factory. And normally it's plastic, but I wanted to reinforce mine in case I hit any road debris. I don't want to damage my oil pan or anything like that underneath the car. So I upgraded it to the Z1 Motorsports aluminum one. And I'm going to flip the camera around so I can show you real quick what it looks like. All right, so I'm probably gonna have to sit down here to get under this thing, but if you look under it, you see Z1. And you might be able to see there's some vents in it down where the oil can be changed. But basically that back half, the back part of it, it's a three-piece setup, but the back part actually flips down to make it easier to do oil changes. And it's vented, so it helps cool the oil down as well. But it's aluminum, and let's just say it was very hard to install. It's supposed to be a 1-hour job, but it did not end up turning out that way. It was about 3.5 hours. Something I want to show you, if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it actually. The car was lifted when we worked on this, me and someone I know. I don't think I'll be able to find it, but there's a spot that's very hard to install. It's somewhere in there, and you have to like reach your hand up and around, and there's not much space at all. So but that is what it looks like on the car. I'll throw a picture as well. Let me get back up here. So right here, that's what it looks like on the product page. And yeah, you know, this is what it looks like on the car basically. So it is supposed to protect the car. And so far, no complaints, although it did take a lot longer than I expected. So let me go ahead and go through some of my points here. That was just spontaneous, that little snippet there. But one of the main reasons I got this, and one of the reasons I feel it's worth it, is that it provides much better protection for your oil pan and other components compared to the plastic piece. So if you hit road debris, say for instance a small brick on the road, that might puncture your oil pan, and then you're going to be spewing oil everywhere, and that's not good and probably a very expensive repair. So this aluminum undershroud will actually protect it a lot better than the plastic. So that's why I got it, to kind of protect my investment in a way. Let's move on to the next point here. It actually allows, as I mentioned earlier, for much easier oil changes. There's only 2 bolts. I apologize, the wind is getting crazy here. But there's only 2 bolts that you have to undo on the back to do the oil changes. So that's very convenient. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the install took a lot longer than I anticipated. It was actually very hard on my shoulders too, because I only had about 8 inches of clearance on the car. I was only able to lift it about 3 or 4 inches off the ground. And these cars are pretty low. They're about 5 1/8 off the ground. So it was pretty bad. But I managed to get under there. I'm kind of smaller, so I got under there and did it, but it took a while. Let's see here. Also something to keep in mind is that the instructions for the install on this are kind of bad. I had to actually find out where things go because the instructions didn't say. So I had to do that, but it all worked out. It all got installed, so it's good on that. Now, before I purchased, I emailed Z1 Motorsports, and you know, they said it would only take an hour. So I kind of took them at their word, and yeah, it didn't take an hour. But maybe if you jack the car up pretty high and you're working pretty fast, you might be able to do that. But I was only able to use what I had available to me, which was basically like wood and bricks to lift the car up. Just create ramps and drive on that. That's what I did. But yeah, it wasn't really that fun. But as much as of a pain in the ass it was to install this, and I didn't expect it to be that way, I would still highly recommend this product for protection underneath your car, especially the Z. You know, the Z, it's a fun sports car, and you want to keep it that way. You don't want to damage it. You don't want to bust open your oil pan. So that's what I did to protect my components underneath the car. My voice is getting kind of hoarse, so I apologize for the way I sound right now, but this wind is sucking everything out of me. But yeah, this is a very good investment for your Z. If you have a 370Z, they also have them for, I believe, the Q50s. I believe those other cars. But I have a 370, so that's the one I got. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link it in the description below if you want to pick one up from Z1 Motorsports. They're a very reputable company. I've had a lot of products from them recently, and I've been pleased. So definitely highly recommend getting this for your Z. With all that being said though, I'm going to continue on to the next video. That way I can get out of this wind as soon as possible. And I think it's going to rain too. So I'm going to do that. My voice is getting pretty hoarse, so I got to be quick on the other video. So I'm going to end this one here. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.